Good. Busy. She was born 6/15/01. So she. Okay.
Okay. We are here with the family of Jaden Carpenter. Can you tell us a little bit about Jaden?
Hi. Yes, I'm Savannah, Jaden's sister. Um, well, missing out of Columbia, Tennessee, since October 7th, 2022. We call her Shug. I've never called her Jaden. It's just like a family nickname. But she was last seen by her current boyfriend, James Tyson Reese, goes by Tyrese, at his home in Colioca, Tennessee. And last heard from by her ex-boyfriend via Snapchat. He said that on the 7th that she called him and sounded frantic, like she needed a ride, and then the call got disconnected and he wasn't able to reach her again.
Okay, and I'm sorry. Her phone did she or I'm sorry. Did they did she ever leave the house? Does Was she ever seen other than by her boyfriend in the home?
I believe the day before she went missing, there was a group that had allegedly seen her on the 6th. Um, from that group, um,
Yeah,
I can't
I
hear.
just started.
message from her saying, "quote He didn't." And yeah, sorts of rumors about. I'm sorry. Is it better now?
It sounds like it is now.
Sorry, I was holding my phone. Okay, so what did I miss?
None of it, yeah.
Okay, so what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Was she ever seen other than by her boyfriend in that home prior to her disappearance?
Um, Allegedly on the 6th, she was in contact with a group from Duck River area, known as, I want to say, quote unquote, the back road tweakers. And one of them said that she had texted his phone saying he's trying to kill me, but didn't specify who she meant. And he never got in touch with her after that. And then on the 7th was when Ryan said that she had called him to come get her, who's her ex. And when I was actually finally able to contact Tyrese, which was after I might have been right before I filed the missing persons report. And he basically told me that they were working all day and then they got home and they were getting ready for bed. And she said that she was hungry. So he let her take the car to town to get food. And while she was gone, she supposedly sent him a text saying that she couldn't do it anymore and that she was going to leave him. I'm sorry. And she ended up supposedly leaving his vehicle at the end of the driveway with the keys in it. And that's what Tyrese had told me. But he had a slight discrepancy in what he said to law enforcement. He told law enforcement somewhat the same thing, except for they had been sleeping and he woke up in the middle of the night with the same text. But she said that she was going to leave his vehicle somewhere in the roadway with the keys in it.
Okay, so the vehicle that he said that she took was found at the home?
It was actually his vehicle, and as far as I know, it has been searched and stuff by TBI. I'm not completely sure how well, but they had to track it down from a repo lot to actually search it.
Okay.
When it
Uh,
was initially found, was it found at the residence or was it found on the side of the road?
I'm not really sure. He never actually like made a report or anything. That's just what he said, and nobody really went any further into that situation besides the fact that the data records don't show those texts allegedly on her phone.
uh, um, now, sorry, lost my train of thought. When was the police report filed?
I actually didn't even realize that she was missing because the last time I spoke to her was on the 3rd, and I had kind of like, went off on her a little bit because I could tell what kind of things was going on in her life, and I just didn't want that for her. And so I was just honest with her and I told her, I know what kind of life you're living, and I was trying to get her to come up here. And she was like, "Well, I'm leaving him. Wish me luck. I'll call you when I leave." And then she never called me, which she usually, she'll be like, "Oh, I'll call you back," and then never called back. And I didn't think anything of it until her ex boyfriend Ryan had reached out to me on the 15th of October, which is a whole like week after she had already been missing. And my initial thoughts when Ryan had reached out to me was that she was just avoiding him because they had broke up on bad terms, and I didn't think that they were good anymore, like at the point in time. But I do know that they were together a while, and if she was in danger and she felt that he was the only one that she could call, that she might have actually called him to come pick her up.
Now, you said that she told you that she wanted to leave her boyfriend?
Yeah, she told me that her boyfriend was crazy and like a whole bunch of stuff on the 3rd, and that she was going there to pack up her stuff. And I tried calling her while she was there, and she said she couldn't talk because he was standing right there and she would call me back. But then she never
What day
did.
was that?
October 3rd.
Okay.
So, like 4 days before she was last seen.
Okay. Now, did you talk to her between the 3rd and the 7th?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Now, who filed the missing person report on her?
Ryan had initially went up there and tried to file, but they wouldn't let him file because they thought he was just like a disgruntled ex or something, and they thought it was kind of like a domestic situation of some sort. So they didn't really let him file, and then I ended up calling, and it was officially filed, I believe, the 16th or the 17th of October when the Murray County Police Office put out that um, the first flyer that they had made.
Now, was her cell phone and everything found?
No, none of her personal belongings like her wallet or ID or cell phone or anything like that, not her glasses, nothing has been found. There has been um like several contractor bags full of like clothes and like random stuff from when she lived at Ryan's, because I guess when she moved into Tyrese's, she didn't take a lot. She left a lot of her stuff at Ryan's and was using it as a storage. So my mom actually got back a couple bags of clothes from Ryan's, and a duffel bag came from Tyrese's house, but all the duffel bag had in it was like a blank notebook, like a pair of sweatpants, and like some random bras. Like, I don't know. Me and my mom kind of assumed that it could be somebody else's stuff. Like, we don't know for sure.
Right. Do you know if her cell phone was ever pinged?
I do know that they had been tracking her cell phone, and they even got some of the data. Um, they didn't really, they did say that it got pinged, and one of the last places it pinged was in the east side of Columbia.
Do you know what time it pinged last?
I can't recall the time
Okay.
actually. And I don't believe it was on the 7th. I think it was like the day before.
Okay. Now,
And
go ahead.
Did Tyrese live alone?
Tyrese actually lives at his mother's home, and my sister was living there. I remember talking to her in August, sometime around the end of August, and she was telling me about Tyrese. And I actually knew him because I used to live down there for a long time, and he was like around the crowd of people that I used to hang out with before they all got on drugs, like heavy drugs. And I told her, I was like, well, I don't necessarily approve, but if you're happy type thing. And yeah, so she had been living there since August, as far as I knew, allegedly.
Do you know if his mom was ever interviewed, or does she know the last time that she was there?
Um, supposedly his mom wasn't. I don't really know much about her. I think that they did talk to her. I don't know if she was like actually like interrogated. I just believe that they might have like went over there and had a few words with her, but supposedly she probably. I guess she wasn't there the weekend that my sister went missing. Like she was out of town that weekend.
Was his home ever searched?
No, we haven't been able to get enough evidence to execute a warrant.
Okay. And he won't willingly let anyone come
No,
search it.
no, he's one of those I know my rights type of people. Ex-military, like
Now, did she have any ties to any other state or city?
we're all actually from Michigan, and I actually live up north. I don't live in Michigan, but I live close. And if she were to go up there, she would have reached out to family, like our family. I feel like I would have been one of the first people she reached out to if she came up here.
Okay.
Any ties to any other state besides Michigan?
Um, Not that I'm too sure of. I know that we have family in Texas, and she was in touch with one of them who ran a rehab center and was talking about like going to rehab, but she never fully committed.
Have you checked with the hospitals and the rehab centers around your area?
I have not, but I'm sure that law enforcement has. I don't live in Tennessee anymore, so I can't just go places down there. I have to do everything over the phone.
Oh, now would it be like her just to up and disappear?
I don't think it would, honestly, but she had been through a lot, like even just growing up. I mean, when she was um 17, she had a baby, and she just wasn't able to handle that on her own, like, and actually make it happen. And she ended up losing her daughter, and then got bad on drugs, and just kind of gave up a little bit. But then when she met Tyrese, she seemed like she was like getting happy. And I was hoping it would be the best for her, but who knows?
How
I
long
just
were her and Tyrese together?
Um, well, I think it was around the middle to end of August when they first got together until she went missing. Um, and another weird thing I found kind of suspicious about Tyrese was that when I had reached out to him, it took him a long time to get back to me, and he would not talk to me on the phone. And he had a bunch of pictures of him and my sister on his profile, and like I screenshotted his whole profile and everything. But then after I talked to him, I went back to his page, and he deleted all the pictures of him and my sister off of his page. And I asked him why. And then he kind of like just went ghost on social media altogether.
When was the last time that you had a chance to speak to him?
It was right around when this all first started to transpire, because initially when I first filed the report, I was reaching out to him and Ryan to try to help me find her, and he just didn't seem like he cared to try to help find her. And was really short with me about stuff and wouldn't talk to me over the phone. I just felt off about it.
Is Ryan cooperating?
I haven't talked to Ryan in quite some time either, but as far as I know, Ryan has been cooperative. Anytime I've spoke to Ryan, I've talked to him on the phone. Like, he called me. Well, he messaged me at first, and then he called me when he was telling me what happened, that he hadn't heard from her and none of their friends had seen or heard from her, and it just wasn't like her to not, she always had her phone in her hand. It wasn't like her to not be in contact with anyone. And I guess just a few days before she went missing, she just got like a brand new iPhone.
Okay. There's an find my iPhone option on the iPhone. Have you ever tried to get into her Apple account?
I do actually have her old phone number. I think she's had several different ones. I'm not sure if it's the same one, but I had her phone number on my Find My iPhone app because she came up here on Easter of 2021. She stayed at my house and she lost her phone, and it was dead, so I turned that on to help her find it. But no, we've had no luck locating her phone or anything.
Now, has there ever been any sightings or tips that have been credible?
I'm not sure that they're like accurate, but there was some things that kind of gave me hope. Um, Not too long ago, well, it was last year when I did an interview with Duchess of Discussions, and Arctic Fox had shared the live, and one of his followers that was in, what was Arkansas? I can't remember the town, but supposedly someone in Arkansas said that they saw someone with a similar chest tattoo panhandling by a McDonald's, and that they ended up, because they were trying to get a bus ticket to out east somewhere. I don't know. I just don't see that being super credible, because me and my sister were pretty close. Like, we might not have spoke every day, but at least weekly, bi-weekly, like we video chatted for hours at a time. Like, there was a point in time back in like 2021 where I hadn't heard from her, and I was on her about it. Like, dude, if you don't like keep in touch with me, I'm going to be worried, and I'm going to send someone to see if you're okay. And then she was good about it for a while. Like, she kept in touch with me, and, cause I knew that she didn't really have a connection to any family down there anymore. And like the life that she was living, that, you know, she just felt judged and stuff. And I had been through I went through a similar life path when I lived down there. And that's why I had to move, because everyone where I was living and all the people that I knew or was acquainted to was in that lifestyle, and I wasn't able to get away from it. And so I kind of feel like it was something similar to that she was going through. And so I kept in touch with her and tried to like sugarcoat stuff sometimes, just so that she wouldn't not have contact with anyone.
Jessica, do you have any more questions?
Is there anybody else close to her in that circle that has been spoken to, or has any idea about where she could have gone after she had left Tyrese's?
There's a lot of different speculation of where she could have gone. Different people have different stories. I know that there is a group out in Hickman County that um is allegedly had involvement around the time of her disappearance, like the 6th. So I know that they're being looked into, as well as the other suspects that could possibly be, I'm trying to say allegedly and stuff.
Right. Okay.
Because I don't want to say anything that we don't have evidence to back up.
Brian, is there any community questions? Okay. Sounds good.
All right, let me get to the community questions here.
Okay.
And the first one was asking if she had boyfriend problems.
I wouldn't say she had a great record for dating. I feel like a lot of the people in like the crowds that she would meet weren't really like ready for commitment. She was pretty young. She was 17 when she had her daughter, and that didn't work out. Like there was a long downhill slide for her for sure. She had pretty abusive relationships before Ryan and Tyrese as well.
And then I believe I heard you said that her cell phone last pinged in East Columbia.
Yeah, they said that it pinged on the east side of Columbia. I can't remember the exact coordinates because they told me it in coordinates. But as far as I know, like I don't know a lot about her life. I feel like she only told me what she wanted me to know because she was doing stuff that she didn't want everyone in our family to know. And so I don't know any affiliation that she would have to anyone over on the east side, but it doesn't mean she couldn't have been over there at one point.
The next question is: has anyone tracked her social media accounts?
I think that they have access to her accounts. Well, Snapchat doesn't retain data, so they only retain data up to 72 hours unless law enforcement already has warrants to be like monitoring said accounts. But I do believe they were able to access certain things that were covered by her phone data records. And I'm not exactly sure how that works because it's all data codes and stuff.
Somebody asked how her mental health was.
She was pretty low. She had been, well, it started out when she was younger. Her father figure actually had a heart attack and died in front of her. And that was when she was in sixth grade. She was 11. She had to go out and open the door, the gate for the community gate for the ambulance. And so I know that was really hard on her. And then, like after that, she kind of had, like a misfit type personality where she just kind of got in where she fit in. And then she ended up getting pregnant with her daughter at 17, but she went back and finished school. And then, uh, yeah, I don't know. She definitely had a lot of things that she had gone through, a lot of pain that she carried that I wouldn't wish on anyone. That I mean, I saw what she went through her in her life. She grew up without her actual dad there, and she just then her father figure, who she became really close to, died in front of her, and then she had a daughter, and she didn't know how to handle any of it. And her mental health, the last time I talked to her, was not great. Um, she was saying she kept telling me that she was clean. I found out later that she actually wasn't. I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt that she was clean, because everybody wants that for their family. If they're telling you that they're clean, you want to believe them. And so she was messaging me about um, how she was pregnant not too long before she went missing, around the end of August, beginning of September. And she told me that it was Tyrese's, but then she had messaged me later saying that she was at the hospital and she had a miscarriage. So after that, her mental health definitely dropped. And losing her daughter, I feel like that was a major thing that, ate at her. She felt like she had failed.
Has there been any search and rescue searches done of the area where they would bring in search and rescue teams?
Um, Not that I'm aware of. I know that law enforcement has done some searches out near like the Natchez Trace area, um, near like the Hickman County groups, but there's like they haven't found her. They did find another person over there though.
Was that
Um,
person related to her at all?
No, she was found in a ravine, like a body. I don't know if it was related to the whole situation of what happened to my sister or not, but I feel like she was rolling with a pretty dangerous crowd of people. One girl that I had never heard of before reached out to me and said that she was good friends with my sister, and she had told me that a bunch of crazy stuff about my sister being like tight in with like cartel and stuff and owing them money at one point, but they ended up settling her debt. And she owed a lot of people money actually. She when her and Tyrese first got together, she reached out to her dad who lives in Michigan, who she really hadn't talked to like much at all since she was like 6 years old. And she told him that she was basically being held captive. And at the Richland Hotel, he wired $4,000 and the money for a bus ticket. And he went to go pick her up at the bus station and she never showed up. And then after that, she got money out of her godfather, who was her stepdad's like best friend, who like kind of looked out for her after he passed. And she got him for a couple grand. And then this dude named Troy Smith, who I used to be friends with, I reached out to him initially because like he used to be way different, but now he's not the same. People that get on meth are really unpredictable, I guess you could say. And I feel like he kind of like went off on me for no reason. Like I posted that I was sad and I missed my sister, and like he basically like went off on me about how I shouldn't be sad, like, you know, basically talking a whole bunch of crap about my sister. And I'm like, I really don't care. She's still my sister. You know, she's still my baby sister. And I love her regardless. So I don't really care like about that. Like he was saying, like, I don't know, he was saying a bunch of crazy stuff. I'm not sure any of it's credible.
When she called her dad in Michigan and said that she was being held captive, when was that?
That was around the end of August, or right around the time that she had just gotten with Tyrese. And she never mentioned that to me at all. I didn't know anything about that until after she had went missing.
Now, do you know who she said was holding her captive?
No, I have no idea. I don't know if that's even true or if it was just a ploy to get money, because I feel like if she reached out to him to get money, she kind of felt like he owed it to her. You know what I mean? Like she grew up without him there, and the circumstances of why he wasn't there are pretty sketchy. And so she kind of just looked at him like, you know, whatever, screw you. I'm getting whatever I can out of you because you weren't there for me. So I kind of feel like she might not have been held captive. She could have been held captive, but I feel like it was just a ploy to get money.
And he sent that money, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other questions?
Oh yeah, they're
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
I keep forgetting.
Is law enforcement still active on this case, and what is their attitude towards the case?
Um Law enforcement does seem to be active on this case. They actually I want to say in October or September time, like in the fall at some point, they actually created a cold case unit, and they opened up her whole case from start to finish and had a couple extra eyes on the cold case unit, like looking over everything that they had received, like any data or any information and interviews and all of that. And I do believe Detective Voss he cares. Like I do think that it's bothering him that she's still missing and he can't figure it out. Like he hasn't gotten to figure it out yet. But I do believe they're trying. I'm in contact with him, and at first it was me reaching out to him all the time, and now he actually reaches out to me some of the times more, because he's like, you know, re-asking me the questions that or stuff that I had sent him questions about it, like screenshots and stuff that I had sent him from conversations with people.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they're really trying. I just don't know what all they have. It seemed like they didn't have anything for quite a while.
Now, is there like a Facebook page or anything like that set up
Yes,
keep up with her case?
yes, and I'm glad you mentioned that. It's called Help Find Jaden Carpenter. It is a Facebook page. I created it on there, and it's a public page, so anyone can go on there and share any of the flyers, or friends and family can go on and post about times that they had with her, and people have been following the case. The group has been growing. It's nice to see awareness get out there. So if anyone isn't in the group already, it'd be great to get the awareness out there about her case, at least some way.
And if Jaden was to be listening right now, is there anything that you would like to say to her?
Well, if she were listening, I'm a little upset with her, but we love her, and we love her still, and we would, if she was listening, if she were to reach out to us and give us like something, like if she ran off and didn't want to and wanted to start a new life or something, at least let somebody know that she's alive and she's okay. And if she's in trouble, or if she ever had a chance, that she knows where I live and she's welcome here, and I tried to get her to come here, and that we love her, and I'm never going to stop trying to find her. I'm never going to give up. I'm going to keep pushing until we get answers and she gets closure.
Thank you for that.
I didn't know if anyone watched any of the other interviews and wanted to know more about her, like as a person, before, like what I know her as, not like, who she might have turned in to be.
Absolutely.
Like when we were kids, I was her big sister, so to me she was like my baby. She was my only little sister, and I grew up being like kind of like a parent role to her. My mom worked, and we were latchkey kids, so I was the oldest. I had to, come home and make sure everybody had a snack, and all of that. And then when we moved to Tennessee, my other siblings didn't go. My oldest brother didn't live with my mom anymore, and then my younger brother went with my dad. But it was just us. Like we moved down there in 2009, and the things that me and her experienced together moving, and like the excitement we had moving, like just having a fresh start after like everything that her and my mom had been through, and that we had been through, just being around the whole situation with my mom's divorce and my sister's dad and everything. And she was just a funny person. Like she always wanted to make somebody laugh. Like she was a sad undertone, like, but she didn't want to see anyone sad, and she could make anyone laugh. Like she was just, she could, like, she would just be, we would laugh about the dumbest stuff. And it wasn't just me. I know that she has a lot of friends that would say how she would light up a room, and she would, most people say that about people in this situation, but she was, and she was a good friend, and she actually cared because she had been through stuff that she felt for, and she didn't want other people to feel like that. She had a big heart. She was lost and broken, and all she was looking for was love, and apparently she didn't find it. And whatever she found, I don't know, maybe she did find it. Maybe that's why she's not here. She's ran off somewhere, living in a whole new life as a different person or something. But I just don't see that. I just don't see her up and leaving all the times that, I don't know, all the times that we had, been there for each other and how close we were. I just don't see her not reaching out to me, at least to let me know, hey, I'm alive. I'm okay.
Well, I want to thank you for your time today.
Yes, thank you for having me. Sorry it was little technical difficulties at first. And oh yeah,
No worries.
you have the photos of her, but I usually like reiterate some of like her markings and stuff if like people were to see her like what her tattoos and stuff were and or are. I don't know if you would need that or if the picture you had on there was showing her tattoos.
Yep, and we can post that below as well
Okay.
as a link to the group.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing her story, being here and being a voice for her. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I wish it could have been a little more organized, but the holidays have been crazy. And thank you for sharing her story and helping us get some exposure.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
Have a nice night.